So have you ever wondered why you're poor? Hold on, before you click off, let me tell you, it's not your fault. It's all about a mindset, and it's about what you have been taught and what has been instilled in you. My name is Josh, and I make videos on ways that you can save, make money, and all things related to your finances. So if you care about your money, go ahead and click that red subscribe button until it turns gray, and that way you don't miss anything. In today's video, I'm going to talk about just a few of the things that's keeping people poor and what's keeping us in a poor mindset and how we can overcome that poor mindset. So the first thing that I want to highlight today that's keeping people poor and making us poor is that we are not making saving a priority. And whenever you make saving a priority, you are also investing in yourself and paying yourself first. Every time that you get paid, every time that you have money coming in, you get a check, you will then take a portion of that money and put it into a savings account. And after your savings account is fully funded, still put money into that savings account, but also begin to put money into an investing account. Because whenever you are saving and whenever you are investing, you are also investing in your future. And whenever times get hard, you have something that you can fall back on. That you don't have to worry about how the bill is going to get paid. You're not going to worry about if the government is going to pass another stimulus check just to give you to get by on. But you can't expect nobody else to invest in you if you're not investing in yourself. So make sure that you are making saving a priority. And another reason that you're poor is that you don't have a money plan. I mean, it's easy to hope that there's going to be money left over at the end of the month, but a lot of times it's not. You have to have a plan in place. And a plan is not pretty much you telling yourself no or limiting yourself. It's simply a plan, what you plan to do with your money. So if something come up in the middle of the month and you need to change your money plan or your budget, I love it because a budget is a living and breathing document. So if something happens, you can pull out that money plan and you can look at the numbers and figures that you have there and go on and start moving stuff around. Because where there is no plan and where there is no vision, the people will perish. So you want to make sure that you do have a plan in place, especially if you're struggling with your finances, because whenever you write down things on paper, that's whenever things start making sense, because you can't fix your financial situation if you don't know where your money is going. You can't fix your financial situation if you don't have that plan and you can start saying, okay, I have $20 extra here, $30 extra here, and let me go on and add that together and I can begin to knock out that debt or to apply that money there. So don't be afraid of doing a money plan. A money plan is pretty much why I was able to get to a financial stable place, because I had a plan in place. I mean, I paid off about $100,000 in just a few short years because of that money plan. So many people spend more planning vacations than they do their money. They will spend more time planning on what they're going to wear than they do their money. So you want to have a plan in place whenever you're spending money, and if you don't want to live in what they call a poor mindset. Another thing that's keeping you poor is that you're afraid to talk about the money. I'm not saying that you have to go out there and tell people how much money you're making. But what I am saying is, don't be afraid to get advice from people who have proven financially successful. It's okay to go out there and emulate those people who are proven successful in what they do. Ask them what's going on. Ask them how are they doing what they do. One of the things that really got me on this financial journey is that I went to someone who was emulating success in my eyes. I mean, they wasn't the richest person out there, but the thing is, they were living pretty nice. and they always had time to spend with their family. So I went to that person and asked, what do you do and how can I get there? That's okay to go and ask people for advice and to hear their stories. And I know that sometimes people say, let's not talk about money because money is evil, but it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. Money is just a tool. It's like this. If I take a brick, I can use that brick to throw it through somebody's window or to invade someone's home, or I can use that same brick to build a hospital or a school. So it's not the brick that's evil, but it's the intention that the brick is being used with. So money is just a tool the same way that that brick is. Either you learn how to control it or it will end up controlling you. So it's okay to sit down with your family. It's okay to sit down with your kids and talk about the ways that money work. And another thing that's keeping people poor is that we're failing to build an emergency fund. That emergency fund is in place for whenever something happens, it will be able to catch you. It's almost like a safety net. When you are there working high up, if you fall, it's something to catch you before you hit the bottom. And that emergency fund is so important because an emergency will happen. It's not if it's going to happen, but it's when it's going to happen. When you have that money in place in your emergency, it's really no longer an emergency. I just found it to be an inconvenience. So the thing is, make sure you have that emergency fund in place, and that way you don't have to rely on all of that credit card and all of that debt, and you can become the best version of your financial self because you have that emergency fund in place. I would recommend at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses in your emergency fund. A problem that we tend to make also is impulsive purchases. Going into the store just because something is looking at you, or just because something is on sale, or just because the sales representative say you need this, you go on and buy it. Anytime that you go to the store, you should have a list. You should have a purpose and have an idea what you're there to get out of that store. Just don't go in blindly and just start buying things just because you see it. If you see something in the store that you didn't think about before, that's okay. I have those moments all the time. But what I will tend to do is go home, think about it, sleep on it. And if I wake up in the morning and I'm still wanting that item, and if it's in my budget to purchase, then I would go back and make that purchase. But just don't go into the store and see something at the wham and you buy it, because the last thing that you want for yourself is that buyer's remorse. And that really goes into also buying items that you don't need. There's a difference between wants and needs. And it's okay to want stuff, but don't buy items that you really don't have any use for. I was talking to someone recently and they said that they buy items throughout the month, like on eBay and Amazon. And at the end of the month, they go back and they review their purchases, then they send back the stuff that they really didn't need. But my question is, why didn't you just make a plan for that in the first place? Because if I take the time to go online to buy something, it's something that I need or if I want. And again, that it's in my budget. You will never get ahead financially if you're out there buying things that has no purpose and no value to you or your plans. Sit down and think about the things that you purchase before you purchase. Don't go out there and just buy stuff just for the heck of buying stuff. And another thing that you really want to stay away from that's keeping you poor is paying your bills late. I mean, you have late fees. When you're broke and stacks of bills and overdue notices, and that's also a huge source of anxiety. You get anxiety, you get headaches, you start getting sick, you got to go to the doctor. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that can be associated with paying your bills late. Why should you pay an additional $35, $40 on late payments just because you failed to plan? Know your due dates and make all efforts to pay your bills on time. And another thing that's keeping you poor is that you continue to dig yourself deeper in debt. When you're poor, it's easy to get stuck in a debt trap because you become desperate. Stop relying on credit cards so much. Because credit cards, they're not there to be your friend. Those credit card companies are there to manipulate you and take advantage of you and have you paying for the rest of your life by lining their pockets. Don't try to be like somebody else. Live within your budget. Live within your income, and you will find yourself being happier overall in life. Every penny that's coming in, you don't want it to go back out just with somebody else's name on it. It's time for you to take control of your own financial destiny and stop lining the pockets of these big corporations who do not care about you. They just want your money. So they will say nice doing business with you, but start missing payments. They're going to start harassing you, calling your neighbors and calling your friends and family and trying to find you and create more stress for yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Don't dig yourself deeper in debt just for you can keep up with the Joneses, because one thing that we already know, that the Joneses are broke because those Joneses are trying to keep up with somebody else, and they're trying to keep up with somebody else, and it becomes a domino effect. Don't get stuck in that game. Don't get stuck in that trap. Begin to put those things in place that will put you in a better financial situation and position. So what are some of the things that you feel that are keeping people poor? Leave those in the comment section below. Let's start this conversation. So if you care about your money, go ahead and click the video right over there, and I will see you in the next video.